Hey everybody, it's Flying Ryan here with a review of the Iron Man Flying RC Extreme Hero by EB Brands. This may be the coolest toy grade RC I have ever owned in my entire life. This thing is just so cool. It's basically a plane. I mean, it obviously is molded to look like Iron Man, but it flies like a plane. You've got two motors and propellers, and those are what give it power. And then it also turns by changing the speed of the motors. And then when it does that, it actually turns the head a little bit as well. So you don't have just the counter thrust, you also have a little bit of an angle in the head, so it gets really nice sharp turns. It does like to stall a little bit when you do a sharp turn, so just make sure that you've got some good height when you do a sharp turn, because it will dip in that turn. But otherwise, it flies really nice and easy at just about over half throttle. It'll fly at a kind of high alpha angle like this and just looks really natural. Looks exactly like Iron Man flying through the sky. It gains elevation with throttle and loses elevation when you lower the throttle. And you know the lot of weight in the head, so it's nose heavy, so it'll dip down when you give it less throttle and then climb back up when you give it more throttle. This is the transmitter. It's just two channels, so you've got your throttle, which also is elevation, and then your left and right turn. It's got these huge thumb pads, so not exactly great for a pincher, but you know, being only two channel, I flew it with my thumbs. I didn't need to pinch, so no problem. It does have a trim, which I found I did need to give a little bit of trim on mine. And then you've got the charging cable in the back here, which kind of is spiraled up in this little hole there. And then you just turn the transmitter to the left to charge. And it takes about 40 or 45 minutes to charge, and you'll get about, 5 or 7 minutes of flight time, pretty standard. I did have a little bit of trouble plugging in the charger. It plugs in here, and then just being that it's only connected via this one tiny little metal bar. I was just kind of a little afraid to push too hard trying to plug in, so you're kind of trying to support it from the bottom while you plug it in, and just a little bit tricky to plug in. So kids may have some problems with that, so the parents should handle doing the charging. I wish it would have had LEDs. If it had like lights in his hands here, and like maybe in the chest where he's got lights in the comic book and stuff, that would have been really cool. That would have just topped it off. And then you would maybe even allow some night flying, which would just be incredibly cool, especially since there tends to be less wind at night. But I'm not going to discredit it for that. That it's still plenty cool without the lights. That just would have been the icing on the cake. I think that's really about all I had to say about it. It's just really cool, really easy to fly, really unique. So let's go check out some flight footage. All right, well, this is the flight of the EB Brands Iron Man Flying RC Extreme Hero. This is my first flight, maiden flight, so we'll see how she does. Wow, it does turn sharp. Here comes a car. Well, that's pretty cool once you get the feel for it. it can definitely turn sharp, but it likes to stall, so you gotta give it some height before you make a sharp turn. I'm flying at like just over half throttle. That is cool. You don't want to punch the throttle too much or it'll stall out, start to porpoise. But yeah, it is very easy to fly once you get the feel for it. No problem at all. Very cool. That is awesome. Ooh, almost got the sign there. That is really cool. Don't need a lot of space to fly it. It just turns so sharp. Give it a sharp turn and just be ready with the throttle to kind of correct for the dip it takes. You can make really sharp turns with it. Alright, let's see, bring it back for a landing here. Alright, well there it is. That is the Flying RC Extreme Hero Ironman from EB Brands. Pretty cool. Alright, well thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ooh, stalled out there. Looks like I had some trim issues. Just banged it up a little bit on the foam there, no big deal.